Hey everybody, welcome back to Schoolhouse Cracked. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all your favorite podcast channels. With me, as always, Mr. Brett Derickson.
And my good friend, Dr. Marcus Motor Chandler. We're here to get you started with this new school year. We're excited to reconnect with our audience.
Yeah, you've had students back for about 2 weeks, and I'm welcoming my undergraduate and graduate students back here on Wednesday. But we're talking about this and all the things that happen in the beginning of a school year, and it really got us thinking about the unsung heroes of schools. And so when you think about unsung heroes of schools, the folks who often get overlooked but are imperative to the success of any school are the support staff.
Yeah. Marcus, I'm not mention this person's name, and if she ever watches this episode, I just want to give a huge shout out to her. But somebody who we worked with together at two different schools, one of our front office ladies. She's been working 2 jobs, man. You know that her husband has some health problems, but she goes straight from school, and she's been working at a fast food restaurant. Okay. She's basically working 60 hours a week. At the end of the day, that kind of conversation that we had led us to thinking about how do schools really operate. Marcus, who are the unsung heroes?
Oh, I can go down a laundry list, and forgive me for forgetting or mistitling any of these folks, because the titles change based off of states and school districts, but administrative staff, so your secretaries, your front office folks, your attendance folks, your paraeducators, or some states call them the teacher aides, the bus drivers, the lunchroom workers, the hall monitors and the playground monitors, all the folks who have eyes on kids and are building relationships with kids in ways that aren't related to direct instruction, but are still huge in developing these young adults.
So paraprofessionals that are working with our special needs students, bus drivers, and the variety of bus drivers, those that get kids to and from school, but also those that get kids to extracurricular activities. But we're also taking a look at our custodial staff and people who get furniture from here to there and clean up after kids, and as we help our kids get used to our systems and treating our school correctly, those folks that are getting the gum out from underneath the tables. It might sound ridiculous, folks, but at the end of the day, what Dr. Marcus Motor Chandler and I are saying is that we do really appreciate the Starbucks cards for our teaching staff, and the emails of thank you to our school counselors for helping switch our schedule. But at the end of the day, there's so many people in play, and I can tell you as an assistant principal, who lift me up, who put me in position to be successful, who are the first people to greet our families and are sometimes confused and scared community members as they're coming into a new school. There's just so many people out there with wage-paying jobs that if you just take the time, you might see them for who they are and what they're doing for our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have, just like we have a teacher shortage, we have a shortage of support staff nationwide. And so what I would say is, just to conceptualize this, let's just start with a normal school day. It's maybe the middle of winter and there's a little bit of snow on the ground, right? And you're packing up your 4th grader or your 9th grader, put their backpacks on, and they're headed down to the bus stop. It's dark. The bus driver pulls up on time. And so that bus driver was up probably at about 4 o'clock to check their bus, heat it up, get it out there safely to your kid. And that's the first person your kid sees. Then they get them safely to school. As your kid gets off the bus, all the sidewalks in front of the school have been shoveled by custodial staff or by ground staff. Salt's down and it's safe. I mean, hopefully this is the case, but sometimes you and I have shoveled sidewalks ourselves. So it's safe for them to enter the building. They enter the building, one of the first people they see might be the attendance secretary or the principal secretary, and they say hello. Or the first voice they hear outside of their homeroom is the announcements from somebody in the front office. Their breakfast is served by a cafeteria worker who got there at 4:30 in the morning. And they're serving pancakes with a smile.
So here's my challenge to families, to challenge your kids and maybe to you as well. When you're baking those cookies and you're thinking about who should get some of those extra ones, 3 extra cookies in a little Ziploc bag, and it says the bus driver's name on it. Learn their name. They know your kid's name. They see them every day. They're on the same routes. Those cafeteria ladies, they don't just serve up food. They're actually really concerned about health and nutrition for your kids, and they're counting the lunches and making sure that enough pizzas are made or enough salads are put out, the different things that kids are looking for, and then they turn around then and help clean up the cafeteria with the custodial staff. These are how organizations operate, and it's really important for our kids to learn how to see those folks, to be grateful to those folks, and honestly, our families as well. Know their names and give them a high five and a thank you whenever you can.
Yeah, and one of the final things I'll add is, as we talk about the community and parents recognizing the work of these folks, teachers, administrators, don't forget these folks either.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, when I interviewed to be a high school principal for the very first time, the superintendent, the first question he asked me is, he said, when I was an assistant principal, what's the name of your head lunchroom worker? And one, I knew that, so I got the job. But two, it's just important to know all the. When you're an administrator, you need to know all the folks who work for you. You need to know their name. And when you're a teacher, like when it's Monday morning and there's 6 teachers waiting in the copy room at 6:30 in the morning to make copies, the copier is working and there's paper in the copier because the secretary got there an hour before you.
Yeah.
And so be sure to thank those folks. I know as an administrator that my success was because I had a strong group of support staff behind me that were working just as hard and harder than I was at times. Yeah. And so they say behind every successful individual is a hardworking spouse. Behind every successful administrator is a supportive support
and
staff.
I just want to say that 1,000%. I'd love to name those folks. This isn't really the platform. That's not.
I would say you know who you are,
Yeah.
and if I haven't told you that, that's on me. But you're working your ass off.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it really makes it to the kids. And I work at a great school, and I know for sure that our students know who these people are and how valuable they are.
Yeah. So thank you to the support staff, teachers, administrators. Thank your support staff, and not just on Administrative Assistance Week where they get like Qdoba. Thank them all the time. Bring them coffee. Parents, kids, be sure to thank those folks, recognize them, know their names, and throw 3 cookies in a bag for the bus driver.
Absolutely.
All right. So as always, with me is Mr. Brett Derickson. I'm Dr. MC. Thanks for tuning in to Schoolhouse Cracked. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite podcast channels. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Find us on Instagram and Facebook. We'll see you in our next episode.